The High Five, sponsored by Atomizer Racing Injectors, the best product available for fuel atomization and injector control. So here we go with our High Five with Brent Austin. Brent, what was your first car you ever had? I'm not talking about a race car. I mean like a street car. The very first car you either bought yourself as a teenager or your parents got. What was that?
1968 Mustang 6-cylinder 4-lug coupe.
Wow, yeah, well, that's pretty cool. A Mustang, though. So how long did you keep that car?
The funny part about that is I had that car. I bought that car when I was 14 years old. I worked all summer to pay for this car. No, excuse me. I was 13 years old. When I was 14 years old, I got caught drag racing it without a license. That's another story. I never legally drove that car. I had it legal one time, and I owned that car for 10 or 12 years. I got it legal, and the motor started knocking. So I never legally drove that car on the street when I owned it.
This is what I love about the High Five question is two things right there with that one. First of all is, what a great answer there with that story on your first car that we never would have known for you to talk about that, getting that at 13. The second part of that is, I know how personally you're wheeling and dealing all the time, buying cars and motors and moving them and man, you were doing it at 13. You were doing it at 13 years old.
Yeah, yes I was.
All right, here we go. Question number 2. Brent Austin, what is your dream car? If you could have any car out there right now, what would you have?
You know, I tell you what, man, if I could have any car, and I have had a lot of cars in my day, and you think every one of them is kind of a dream car because you get it, unless you're getting it to sell. I one time bought a Dodge Viper. I thought, man, this is going to be black. Bought it from my buddy Paul Brandt in Texas. And I thought, man, this is going to be the ultimate sports car for me within reason. It was a 200-mile-an-hour car, production car, without it being exotic, $300,000, $400,000 car. Could not stand the way this car sounded. Absolutely killed me. So I thought that was my dream car. But if I had to pick a dream car, honestly, I probably had it. 1969 Camaro.
Your dream car would be the Megalodon, the 69 Camaro. And I tell you what, I guarantee you, Brent, listening to you answer this question, there's a ton of viewers out there that watch the show and a ton of listeners that listen to you say that Megalodon is probably their dream car too. So here we go. Question number 3 on the High Five. What is your favorite restaurant?
Actually, I like to cook my steaks at home for myself. That is my favorite food. But my favorite restaurant, oh, man, this is a good one. Man, that's a tough one. I like my Italian. I like my steak. Oh, man, that's a hard question for me to answer, partner.
So what if you were going to go out on a Friday and Saturday night there in Goodview, where would you go eat?
Here's what you think, man. You kind of hit me at a hard spot, man. I kind of like food, so
okay.
When we go to the drag strip, man, I don't take bologna. I take steaks. We cook steaks. That's what I'm a meat eater. That's just what I am,
Well, you just gave me a hot tip of where I need to go now at these races.
I feed a lot of people, man. I assure you.
All right, let's skip to question number 4 in our high five. Brent Austin, if you were not racing no prep kings or no prep, what class would you want to race in?
Pro mod.
I knew you were going to answer
no,
that.
Without a doubt. My goal when I was a kid, which I doubt, I don't know if I'll ever see it. To me, to race NHRA Pro Mod, is that's an epitome to me. That to me is I just like it. Pro Mod. I've never raced Pro Mod. Don't get me wrong, but to me, that is a level of excellence that not everybody can do.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you and say you've never raced Pro Mod, and I'll keep those comments to myself. But here we go. The last question in our high five, number 5 here. Brent Austin, who is your favorite opponent to get lined up with in the other lane?
Myself.
Oh, come
on, man. As I stated earlier, yeah. I don't have a favorite. I know that's terrible. Racing all of them, and that's the whole thing. to pick the favorite person to me would be the strongest person that day. So everybody can be, you can have the Ryan Martins and Jeff Lutz. All of them are great to race against. Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. If I had to pick a person, my favorite, other than myself.
Well, I think you kind of sold me on yourself. I kind of like that one. So you don't really have an opponent. You're racing yourself, or you're racing the track. That's kind of cool.
If you listen earlier in the podcast, man, that is what you do. If you get caught on racing the opponent that you're racing, well, you kind of lost right there.
Well, thank you, Brent Austin, being a part of the High Five and answering those series of random questions there. You had great answers. Thank you very much.
Hey, man, thank you for your time.
That was Logan 660 High Five, brought to you by Atomizer Racing Injectors.